This actually a story I put together about, I want to say 2-3 months ago. It's been a while, and I never got around to doing it. And now it's right on point. Declines in divorce rates that are real. If you take a look, the overall divorce rates have declined by 18% over the past decade. What I thought was best in this study I was taking a look at when I did the story is that 77% of married couples are happy right now. And I would like that to be closer to 100 happy, but 77 say they're happy. Not, I'm all right, I'm sad, but happy. It's a pretty good precursor that, hey, that things might work out there. And a lot of this is being driven by millennials. And we know they're getting married later, and perhaps that's leading to better decision-making as they're getting married as well. Joining us now to talk about this, Lene Alley DeRutter, family law attorney. You may follow her at Lene DeRutter on... Yep, Lene A. DeRutter on Twitter. All right. Wanted to make sure I got that right for you, Lene. All right, so tell us a little bit about this situation with the millennials and decline in divorce rates. What are you seeing in your practice?
Well, I think what I'm seeing is that millennials are just being more mindful, right? We want divorce rates to decline. We don't want it to keep going up. And so you're seeing millennials are products of divorce. They've seen people go through, they've seen their parents, and they've actually experienced it where it's not a fun process. It's a brutal process. It takes emotional, mental, and financial tolls on people. And so they've been a product of that, and they're looking at marriage and they're wanting to get married, but they're kind of wanting to set themselves up for success. So they're looking at the issues that they think or they perceived or experienced led to divorces and trying to address those so that they'll have these long-term unions.
Yeah, I was taking a look, and the average age of getting married for a first time in 1970 is 21. By 1990, it was 24. Today, it's 28. Ultimately, that waiting longer, that period, that maturation, do you think that is going to lead to perhaps better marriages over the long run? For sure. Because if at 21 years old, at 28 years old, you barely know what you're doing. But at 21 years old, you're just trying to figure out, what this whole life thing is about. And so, at 28, at least you've had time to develop your education, develop your career, get some financial footing. And those are a lot of the things that, figure out a little bit who you are. And those are the things that when you go into a marriage and you really don't know who you are, you're struggling financially, your future is extremely unknown. Those are high stress factors, right? And so if you can address those and get it and have a little more of a solid foundation, then I think logically that's going to lead to a more successful marriage. We're all familiar with the irreconcilable differences that come up in a divorce. That's almost always the reason cited. But as you point out, finances, when you ask people, still the majority answer for why couples end up not together. How important is that kind of conversation and that decision-making before you decide that you're getting married?
I think it's extremely important. You need to know when you're going into a marriage how you envision that marriage being. You're going to have one person's going to be the breadwinner, or both of you going to be independent. And I think that's what you also see with the millennials is that it's more common to have, both parties have their own careers and have their own financial success. And I think that brings peace of mind too. It's a very uncomfortable position if you go back and look at the traditional marriages where one person has the financial success and the other person there has basically been the home giver, taking care of the children, all those good things. And it's not that those aren't as valuable. I just think that, money drives things. And so it's important that going into marriage, you sit down and you talk about what do you both envision and making sure that you both value whatever role you're going to take and making sure that you're clear on, are both of you going to weigh into financial decisions? And I think ultimately you have to do that if you're going to have a long-term successful marriage. But, for some people that may not work. But you need to know those things before you sign up for life.
Well, you are making a lot of sense to me. What is a parent to do? Let's say your kids really want to get married. You don't think they're ready. They are young. They haven't figured everything out in their career. From your perspective, having seen what you've seen, what do you tell them?
Well, I'm a parent of 3, and I tell my children not to get married until they're 40. But,
There you go. How's that working for you?
See, the first one's the experimental one, right? So we're watching her. But I think you have to, as a parent, talk to your children about the practical issues in marriage and what marriage is about. And I think historically, a lot of times it's been just this thing we do, right? And a lot of it has been religiously based, and there wasn't a lot of conversation around getting married because you want to spend your life with someone that you enjoy, that you like, that makes you happy, and that you make happy, right? It goes
Making
both
a lot
ways.
of sense. Yep.
You got to have those conversations with your kids, and you've got to also have the practical side of, it seems like you guys are in puppy love right now, but here's all the issues you're going to face. How are you going to handle them?
That's great. That's great insight. Thanks, Lene. I really do appreciate you checking in, making a lot of sense. Lene Alley D. Rudder, a family law attorney, and again, at Lene A. D. Rudder on Twitter. Brian Mudd Show, News Radio 610 WIOD.